This is the Kia Seltos, a pretty well-known car, but with an exception, as this is an iMT enabled version, which is Kia's version of the clutchless manual transmission. What's more, this is even more special because this is a segment first mated to a diesel engine. What are the pros and cons to having one? How is it to use in the city? How is it to use on the highway? Let's find out. But we're not done yet. In this video, we're also going to get one of our team members who actually owns a Seltos herself to come, drive this car and tell us what her experiences are like behind the wheel. Okay, so to begin our video, very first question is that if there's no clutch, how am I going to start this car and get going? And for that, we're going to invite my colleague Sonam, who herself owns a Seltos manual. How long have you had the car for?
I think it's been 2 years now.
So she's been a Seltos manual owner for 2 years now. We are going to invite her to get behind the wheel of this Seltos Diesel iMT to start the car and get going, and then get her impressions of what the car is like.
So let's get started.
Did it feel out of place to like start up the car and get going and to get driving?
Not really, Venkat, but I feel it's different. It's kind of unique feeling, I would say, but not difficult. Definitely not difficult.
Pulled over. Now you put it in second.
Yes,
Second.
neutral and
Neutral,
second.
second. Now
will
just
not-
take your foot off the brake.
Yes,
Don't
yes.
accelerate. It will roll on its own. It's a little slow, but it'll do it.
Yeah. Wow, nice. This is nice. So whenever I do this in my car,
You have to slip the clutch, no?
slip the clutch and I feel that vibration because I have to shift to accelerator or it will not move on its own. I have to push it little more.
Yep.
But here I don't have to do anything, as you said.
So imagine at this time of the day in peak traffic, clutching in, clutching out, clutching in, clutching out. It's wearing out your clutch, it's affecting your fuel efficiency. This makes it convenient, right?
Right.
The iMT's real strength lies in its ability to make your city driving much easier. What's the one thing in a city driving condition or like bumper to bumper traffic that's the most challenging? That's clutching in, clutching out, and that's something that this gearbox eliminates. Since there's no clutch, there's no workout for your left leg, and the focus is mostly on your right leg. Now, as a car to drive in city conditions, it actually makes things pretty simple. When you need to set off, like we said at the start of the video, all you got to do is put your foot on the brake, put the car into gear and get going, right? In fact, you don't even need to put your foot on the brake. You can just put the car into first and get going. But given our traffic conditions, it's not the smartest idea, and it would be better off if you actually kept your foot hovering over the brake when you are going. The iMT has a built-in warning in place if you're in a speed too high for that gear or too low for that gear. It won't let you shift and it'll give you a beep in the noise. Wait, I will give you a little demonstration now. So I am dropping to speeds below 20 kmph, but I'm going to put the car in third gear. There you go. So it's warning me that my speed is too low. Now if I shift back to second, I can get going again. Now, as a city car to drive, the steering is extremely light. Even though you need to go 3 turns from lock to lock, maneuverability is pretty decent. Because the car has high edges, it's easy to filter through traffic and figure out where exactly you want to place the vehicle. We tested the Seltos iMT in city conditions and it gave us a mileage of 17.59 kmpl, which is 0.9 km over the MID indicated 17.50 kmpl. In contrast, the petrol-powered iMT Seltos did 10.15 kmpl in the city with the MID indicated 12.6 kmpl. So as you can tell, we are parked on an incline to show you how the hill assist function works. We're going to take the car on a U-turn, stop there to a complete halt, and then start the car and drive it again. There we go. So the trick with this is you got to disengage the handbrake, then put the car in gear, then take your foot off the brake. Only then the hill assist function works. Out on the highway, the Seltos feels planted, and with a diesel engine that's eager to push, you can gobble up the kilometers with hardly any effort. But we'd like more feel from the steering and better progression from the brakes. The steering needs 3 turns to go from lock to lock, which really doesn't affect the driving experience, but any effort reduced is always a welcome thing. Now, one other thing that you need to consider is that Kia does not offer a full manual with the Seltos Diesel anymore. You can either have it with the 6-speed iMT, which is what we are driving, or a 6-speed torque converter automatic. The iMT does its bit by keeping the shift slick and smooth, and thanks to the large torque available from the diesel engine, you can pretty much cruise in 6th gear past the 80 kmph mark. The lack of clutch means you have full control without worrying about the car stalling if you slow down or panic brake. In the highway FE test, this Seltos iMT did 20.71 kmpl, while the MID indicated 21.16 kmpl, a pretty impressive number for what is essentially an automatic vehicle. The petrol-powered Seltos iMT did 17.73 kmpl on the highway with an MID indicated 19.5 kmpl. We tested this car for performance and found that it did the 0 to 60 kmph kickdown in 5.77 seconds, while the 20 to 80 kmph kickdown was achieved in 8.68 seconds. The 40 to 100 kmph kickdown was achieved in 10.24 seconds. The first two kickdowns are indicative of major punch from the engine early on, allowing the car to be very handy in city conditions. The all-important 0 to 100 kmph was achieved in 13.68 seconds, which is average performance. The Kia Seltos diesel engine is a 1.5-litre 4-cylinder unit producing 113 bhp and 250 Nm and is offered with a 6-speed torque converter automatic or a 6-speed clutchless manual, which is what we are driving in the video today. This engine and powertrain combination is available across 6 variants, starting with the HTE and going all the way to the HTK Plus variant. The fully loaded versions get features like 6 airbags, ambient lighting, a 10.25-inch display for the infotainment system, the Bose sound system, full color MID, HUD, climate control, rear AC vents, 360-degree camera with dynamic guides, ventilated front seats, power driver's seat, dual tone interiors, power windows, power mirrors, connected car technology and button start. However, this car that we are driving, the HTK Plus, gets a smaller screen, analog clocks with a black and white MID and no HUD or 360-degree camera. Now in terms of exterior design, some of the major highlights include Kia's Tiger Nose grille, projector headlamps that sit low down. On the side, in this lower spec HTK variant, you get these what appears to be like a powder coat finish alloy wheels with our 16-inch units. And when you go higher, especially in the X line, you actually get 18-inch wheels, and when it was launched, it was actually a segment first. In profile, you can see the kind of SUV lines that the Kia Seltos has, while at the rear, you get a large chrome strip and of course these large rectangular tail lamps that sit on either edge of the body. Here, you get the iMT badging on the side, while at the back, you get Seltos written. Summing up the Kia Seltos Diesel iMT. In terms of features, ease of use and even mileage for that matter, it actually does a pretty good job. While it may not be the most dynamic car to drive, it does feel quite easy to use in the city with this iMT option and does feel surprisingly planted on the highway. Now, where we see a bit of an issue is that if you want a full manual, and that's something that Kia has stopped offering. With the diesel, you only get it with this iMT or a 6-speed torque converter automatic. If you're someone that wants full control and wants a full manual, well, you'd have to look elsewhere. Prices start at Rs 14.70 lakh to Rs 20.99 lakh, putting this diesel SUV on the higher side of things. Other rivals include the Hyundai Creta, MG Hector and Tata Harrier, all of which have diesel options. Other than this, its petrol-only rivals include the likes of Volkswagen Tiguan, Skoda Kodiaq, Maruti Grand Vitara, Toyota Urban Cruiser Hyryder, and the upcoming Honda Elevate.